Welcome to Dentology, the Business of Dentistry podcast. In this podcast, we delve into the non-clinical aspects of dentistry with inspirational guests from across the profession. You will hear incredible life stories, pick up valuable business tips and be entertained. I'm Andy Acton and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris Drevens. Thank you for coming. Oh, no, sincerely, thank you very much indeed for coming, because I'm sure there's other things you could have been doing tonight, so we are incredibly grateful.
Yeah. No, not me. Sorry.
No, you had to come. You had no choice.
Oh, true. That's true.
So we started this. There was a thing back in January 2021 called Clubhouse, and there's a few people in the room that would remember that. And it kind of went up and came down pretty quickly, and it was big for about 6 months. And Chris and I jumped on it, and we really enjoyed it. The big problem with it was conversations. It was an audio-only social media platform, but it went out live. And the problem with that is that if people were around and they listened to it, it was amazing, but there was no way of recording it back then, and you couldn't capture the content. So we got the idea, and we said, well, we like chatting, and we're kind of nosy, and we like talking to people. So it'd be great if we could do it in a format which meant that we could record it and we could continue to use it ongoing. So out of that was born Dentology. So we started in July a couple of years ago. Most of the people in the room have been on, so we're grateful to you, because honestly, without the people in the room, you don't have a podcast. Shaz was our very first guest, which was nice, and I think he did it because he was a friend. And it went all right.
Yeah, you were very good. Yeah.
But we started out, and we had three things that we wanted to do. We wanted to hear people's life stories, because the amount of people who think they're not interesting, everybody is. Everybody's got a backstory. It's kind of the things that make the people that they are today.
Well, except for that one guest.
Oh, no, yeah, don't talk about that one.
Talk about that guest.
Him or her. Business tips, because it's the business of dentistry. Our world is a business of dentistry. So hearing business tips is really useful. But in reality, nobody has to work on that, because just by telling your story, those tips come out, which is pretty cool. And the last thing is to have fun. You know, we have to do a lot of stuff on a day-to-day basis that isn't fun, and we just have to kind of get through it. So if we can do something that's enjoyable for us to record, but also for the people that come on and for the people that listen to it, then we've done something good. So today we're doing a live one, which is a little nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Light work, bruv.
No, this is a man who's been on TV.
You're going to agree and say, yes, we're all a little bit nervous.
Yeah, very nervous right now.
Yeah, thanks. Yes.
And
so
stuff.
We're grateful, very grateful for Milad's time. So Milad qualified from Barts and London Dental School in the class of 2004. Principal of Chequers Dental Surgery in Hampshire, and of course we all know and love him as the singing dentist. So welcome, Milad.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys.
For being here.
Thank you guys for having me on. This is quite amazing. And
cool.
Thank you guys for turning up.
Yes.
On giving up your evening to be here and watch this and listen to this.
It's surreal, really.
It is.
A bit red.
It's cool.
I was saying, to be fair, when I came in, it is a bit daunting. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Doing like performances in front of loads of people and doing live TV and stuff is not so bad. But when you got like friends and people you know really well staring at you, and the lighting is quite intense, it's a bit daunting. But I'm sure we'll be all right. We'll get warmed up.
We'll be fine. So to kick off, what do we need to know about your early years to give us a sense of who you are today? How did it all start out for you?
Like, how early do you want to go? So basically, my dad met my mum one night.
This early. No. All
right.
Run forward from that.
Say. Because you know what happens, right? And then 9 months later.
We got that. It's not that sort of podcast.
Fine. Okay.
It's not a medical podcast.
Fine.
Let's say mid-childhood years, just to cover out that bit.
Oh, I don't know if there's something interesting in it.
Well, actually, do you want to know why I became a dentist?
Yeah.
And why dentistry kind of happened?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's an interesting story. So basically,
I should hope so. It's going to be really dull if it isn't.
Yeah. I've hyped it up now. Probably going to be terrible. I was born in Iran, and my mum is from the northern part of Iran, and they have like a custom in the northern part of Iran. Just before the child goes on to like solid food, they put the baby kind of on the floor, and they put loads of stuff in front of it that symbolizes a profession. And so there'll be like a ball for sportsmen, there'll be like a piece of wood for carpentry or whatever. And then the child just goes and plays with whatever, and the thing he or she plays with the most is like what he or she is destined to be in life, right? Wow. And so I played with a syringe. It didn't have a needle on it. We're not barbarians here. I mean, we kept it clean. Really? But it was just like a syringe, yeah. So I was fascinated. They got video of it, of me like pulling it out and pushing the air out and stuff. So as soon as I picked up the syringe, they were like, my son is doctor. So they were chuffed that they were going to have a doctor.
Or drug addict.
Or drug addict. Or street pharmacist, my friend, you know.
Street pharmacist.
I wasn't always a dentist,
street
y'all.
Pharmacist, okay, that works.
So that basically, and then they sort of, bullied me and pressured me into, they supported me through that journey of becoming a doctor. But then, jokes aside, so then obviously you have to make a decision when you're filling out UCAS form and choosing your A-levels and deciding what you're going to do with your life when you're 15 years old, which is mental. Because all I was doing, you don't want to know what I was doing when I was 15, but it wasn't thinking about my future.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I went and did some work experience.
So out of it, so from the time you fiddled with a syringe, so did your family then sort of genuinely, that was like that was your career path?
100%. When you're young and so what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, a doctor.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know what it meant.
Ingrained in you. What?
Yeah, we call that brainwashing. Iranian parents are pretty good at that kind of stuff. There's some other Iranians in the room and they're nodding like, yeah, we've all been there. And I'd probably say Asians as well, right? So you've all experienced it. So yeah, then I did work experience and I went kind of on call with a family friend of ours who was doing MaxVac at the time and he was doing his medical part and I hated it. I thought this is definitely not the life for me. Just everything. It was just so stressful and, no sleep. I need sleep and stuff. And the waking up all of a sudden when you're on call and someone's face is hanging off and you got to kind of be on it and stitch it. I was like, no, this ain't for me, man. For me, it was always an office hour type life.
Right, okay.
Go in, do your business, come home and forget about work and have your family life, have your separate life. So then, because he was MaxVac, he had a lot of dentist friends. So he was like, look, go and sit with a dentist friend of mine and see if you like that. And I just loved that because I was always good with people and interacting with people. Yeah. So that side of it you have.
When did you lose that?
About 10 seconds ago, apparently. So yeah, I liked that. I was good at science at school. I was good with my hands as the police siren rings. The timing. And yeah, I just really enjoyed what the guy was doing. He was doing medical stuff. It was using his hands, science background. I really enjoyed it.
But did you find it easy? Because we see the funny side of Milad, the stuff that you do online. Are you studious? Did that come to you naturally, or did you have to really work hard for that to...
You know what? I'm one of those annoying kids that just smashes it without much work. Oh. I'm sorry, guys. Nilesh knows. So Nilesh, my best friend from uni and life, is here in the front row. Big up, my G. He knows me in uni. Obviously, we qualified in the same year. I was just the same. I was partying all the time. I was still MCing. I was still performing in clubs. I'd go do a gig, come home like 4 or 5 in the morning, eat some food, shower, go straight onto clinic.
Wow.
And that was pretty much me for 5 years. Wow. Finals, I studied though. Wow. I a lot. And I had another friend of ours. We have a mutual friend, John, who lives in Malta. I used to go to his house and we just do like a week's worth of studying 24 hours a day. And I'd grow my beard and look like an absolute hobo.
Do you have a photographic memory? Or
yes.
Is it just, okay.
Yeah, so it helps a lot with memorizing stuff. So yeah, I would study when I needed to study and I'd kind of do pretty well, which is annoying. I apologize for that. So sorry, people are shaking their heads.
You came to the UK when you were 5?
Yes, so right? I was born in Iran. We came when I was 5, because the war was going on in Iran.
Yeah, and obviously at the moment, there's massive challenges in Iran. And I've seen you and a number of other people put stuff out to share messages. I guess social media is now amazing for that in terms of sharing messages. And how important is that for the people back in Iran?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in Iran at the moment, they have like a blackout in terms of, internet access and things. And you get little drips and drabs of what's coming on. And, for us to be able to talk about it, raise awareness for it, it's been going on a long time now as well. And there hasn't been much coverage kind of in the Western media and things. So it's down to the Iranians across the world and the globe to keep talking about it and spreading that message and trying to... I really hope there can be some kind of change in Iran, because Iran actually is an outstandingly beautiful country that sadly many people will never experience because of the regime or because of the stigma of going there. Yeah. But we have like mountains, snow, sun, beautiful seas, beaches. There is everything that you would ever need in Iran. And it's a very rich and beautiful land with beautiful
culture,
people.
Isn't it?
Massive, huge culture. And history. Like the Persian Empire, you can't...
Culture,
exactly, you can't forget about that. So it's just a shame that it's in a certain place right now where a lot of people won't ever see that. And I doubt well, I don't doubt. Let me rephrase. I really hope that someday I can take my children there, and for them to experience it.
I mean, not wishing to get political, do you think there will be change?
There has to be. It can't not be, but it's still very difficult. I feel that the thing that it's missing right now is that central figure of who is going to take over. Because when the revolution happened before, they had the guy. He was the guy that everyone was backing. He was the one shouting all the messages and sadly brainwashing everybody into doing what they did. There kind of isn't that spearhead at the moment. There's a few people, but until we get that kind of...
You need like a Mandela sort of figurehead
that's what I'm saying.
Almost.
Yeah.
Sort of like to...
But there has to be change. It can't carry on like this. So, yeah, let's hope so.
So bringing it back to dentistry, what was your dental school experience like? You said you smashed it and it was very too dizzy. How was it? Was it good? Because obviously we've got a whole different
because
group of people.
We'll ask Nilesh.
Yeah, I was going to say,
he'll be able to tell you.
We can get the truth later. So it's up to you.
So I was raised in London, right? So South London, and I wanted to stay in London. I did 5, because back then you chose 5 unis. So I chose Bristol, Leeds, Manchester, King's, and Queen Mary's. Which had just become Queen Mary's, so Barts in London. And I got into all 5, obviously.
Humble as well.
Yeah.
Look, mate, I was sick at interviews though. You see, I was seeing kids turning up with chopsticks and dice and manual dexterity chat. I was like, bro, just look at the hands. You know, I don't need to do nothing, just origami and. So yeah, I got into all 5, but I wanted to stay in London. I knew I wanted to stay in London. So it was either King's or Queen Mary's. And what I liked about Queen Mary's, which was over King's, was the campus thing.
Right.
So we had a very strong campus there. And for the first couple of years, it was very campus-based. And I knew dentistry is a 5-year course. I don't want to be around dentists any more than I have to be. So at least with a campus thing... Yeah, sorry guys. But at least with a campus thing, I can study in the law department.
Right, yeah.
And the ladies in the law department look different.
Well...
Nilesh is nodding his head. So no, I just wanted to enjoy the more campus life.
Right. The more campus life.
Yeah.
And in fact, we have as a special guest.
Yes. She's now a criminal lawyer and I'm in trouble. No,
she could be helpful.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of chose Queen Mary's. And it was miles away from my house back in South. So
you didn't stay at home? You stayed
No. Actually, there's
uni experience.
Interesting story there as well, if you want to know. So basically, the first year, I didn't qualify for halls because I'm a Londoner, right? But I had a friend from secondary school. His name's Lewis. And he got into Queen Mary's to do maths. But he was living in Oxford at the time. And he got in, I think, later. The only room in halls available, the only thing that was available was like a house. Like a rented house, HMO probably now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was like a student house, right? Yeah. And it was a married couple room.
Oh.
For like...
Big bed.
For older kind of, married couples that want to go uni. So they offered him this room. And it was a bit out of his budget, but he was like, Milad, do you want to just get married for a year? And I was like...
result.
I'm in, bruv. So lucky for us, though, it was twin beds. But
result.
I'm telling you, that year... there was a lot of fun. And it was good times. So first year I stayed literally on campus.
Lots of planning, I'd imagine.
Lots, yeah.
Was it like a board or something?
Yeah, lots studying and that kind of stuff.
Night.
Yeah.
Just checking, that's all.
And
then, I lived in Essex for
and you said
3 years.
Thing about, and you're right, because we've heard it before from people, that we put pressure on young people to make decisions about their future when they're 14, 15 years old. And it's mental because what you're going through is at that age, you're in no fit state to make those life decisions. Yet you have to choose your O-levels, A-levels, GCSEs, depending on your age, which then gives you the points to get into uni. And was it, I mean, I know you said about the syringe thing, but was it genuinely obvious to you as a young person that was going to be your route? Well,
yeah, because of the because of the support and the kind of directional encouragement to do that, it was always going to be... science-based stuff.
Did you ever think of, during your encouragement, of anything else?
No.
Did you always think, actually, I am going to go and be a chicken sexer or plumber
Sorry, what?
or a chicken sexer. It's a
It's a job.
It's a job. It's a
A
job.
chicken.
Yeah.
So wait.
A chicken
Sexer.
Sexer. Yeah.
Sexer.
Yeah. You don't have sex with chickens, but you know, like
Because that's what it sounds like, my friend.
No. You pick it up and go male, female, male, female, male. Fits again.
Apparently, it's very hard.
It is, but it is. And
Have they got tiny willies? Is that
this is just all going wrong? This
you can't, little balls? You got
anyway, moving back to the fact, was there ever a time? There was no time when you thought, actually, I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to be.
I mean, there was that thought every day of my life. Let's not get it twisted. No, music was probably the only other thing I would have done or I would have liked to do as a full-time career. Cool. But my dad had a background in music and he was quite prolific in Iran as a musician and composer of lots of hits. And he just kind of kept me away from the music, actually, because music's a very, very tough life, you know. It doesn't... Actually, he said something to me one time which was very poignant. He was like, luck will get you there, but talent will keep you there.
Yeah.
Right. Having talent doesn't mean there's hundreds of thousands of talented people, but it's just that lucky break that will put you in a place where then you can potentially make it a career. Then if you're talented enough, you can stay there.
Well, and you have, and we'll come on to the singing dentist bit in a minute. And geez, you've got, I don't think it's luck, it's pure talent. But
thank you, Andy.
Before on the dentistry bit, what was your journey from, so you qualified VT as it was then, associate?
No. I didn't do VT. VT's a mugs game, man. I'm joking. No, it's very valuable. No, so basically, my plan.
It's very valuable.
You're not going to edit this one.
Yeah, can we take that out? No. So my plan at the time. So I have a lot of family in America. Basically, when people escaped Iran with the bad times, most of them went to America, California, LA especially,
and you came to South London.
Yeah, I already had family here. So yes, we ended up in London, but a lot of people also came to London and also all over Europe. So Sweden, France, Germany, there's a lot of Iranians kind of dispersed everywhere. But my plan was to go to America. So as soon as we qualified, my plan was to go to California and become a dentist there. Right. And up until the year that we qualified, it was a board exam that you would sit. The year we qualified, they changed it to a 2-year university program where you basically go and join like the third years again.
Kills it.
And it was like $65,000 a year tuition plus then living and da-da-da-da. Yeah. And I was like, I've just done all this studying. Now is the best time for me to sit an exam. I can't now sit the exam. I've got to go and do 2 years worth. And then, so before this realization of that, everyone was doing the VT thing and choosing where you want to go. And I was like, I'm not going to do VT because I don't want to be here. I'm going to go to California. But it was on oral surgery, actually, I remember. My oral surgery tutor at the time, he was like, well, why don't you just work while you're preparing for the exams? I was like, well, I can't work without VT. And he goes, you can. There's a thing called a dental assistant.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But you could work under someone else's
number.
Yeah, exactly. And just crack on. I was like, all right. Well, do you know anyone? He goes, yeah, actually, I know this guy who used to be a VT trainer, but he's not doing it this year. But he needs an associate. He needs an assistant. And I was like, all right, I'll go. Well, where is Basingstoke? What the hell is Basingstoke? Like, what is this village of which you speak?
The village of Basingstoke.
And then I got introduced to him and he gave me the job. So even before exams, before all of that, I had a job. And then when they cancelled the whole exam thing, I was like, well, I'm here now. I can't do VT now because everything's done. This guy was a trainer. So he agreed to do all of the courses for me while I was an assistant.
Wow.
And he was paying me well from the very start.
That's good.
Wow, that's
amazing. So I was very lucky. And that same guy went on to sell me the practice 6 years later.
Wow.
And then he became my associate and he retired in 2020 when COVID
still in
hit.
Contact with him?
He still comes to the Christmas dues. The last 2 years he's been coming to the Christmas dues. We still play golf. He plays off one.
Wow.
So
he's got a lot of time.
Yeah, when he was 18, he had a choice of golf or dentistry and his parents ruined his life like they did mine.
So effectively, you joined as a dental assistant.
Yes.
As an associate.
Yeah.
And then you bought that practice back in 2010.
Yes.
So your whole dental career, I know you worked in other places since, but was literally in that one.
It's in the same room. I've been in the same room 19 years.
And how does that make you feel?
Claustrophobically terrible. No, it doesn't. It feels like home. It feels like home. It annoys me when other people use my room and they don't put stuff back in the same drawer that they got it out from. You lot know what I'm talking about, innit? You know, yeah,
where
that's
you've
irritating.
saved your chewing gum from the previous days, you put it off and have a little chew.
And how did you kind of morph yourself from being the assistant to the associate to the principal of that practice? How was that transition for you?
Yeah,
was
how
it
did it go?
straightforward?
I think so. I didn't find it difficult because I always had the business kind of side as well that I wanted to explore and do. Because again, my dad was a businessman, right? So I used to always see him hustling and on the phone and making deals and doing stuff. And he was very entrepreneurial. And I kind of inherited that, I think.
So did you learn from him?
Yeah, 100%.
And the guy that you worked for?
Yeah, exactly that, 100%. I'm very lucky and grateful for the opportunity I was given. And it's not often when you end up in that type of situation. And very early on, Oscar, his name was, he kind of said to me, look, if you ever want to buy this place, it's yours. Very early on, within even a couple of years. And I think at that time, the contract had just come in 2006. So after 2 years of the good old days of fee per item, the contract came in 2006. And then all the stuff started coming in, like HTML 105 and the cross-infection stuff and needing a decon room. And he was like, you know what, I can't be bothered with any of this. So here's this young kid. If you want to do all of that, take it. And then I'm very lucky. He sold me the business. He sold me the property. He sold me everything. And he just chilled and kicked it. And actually, the whole deal was brokered by this amazing company. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're called Frank Taylor and Associates.
Well, there we go.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, well done. Yeah, there we go. Brilliant.
So you've been...
I knew, obviously.
I
knew.
So you've been a principal there for 13 years.
Lucky number 13.
Well, but the thing is, it's an interesting number because I think quite often people that own dental practices suffer fatigue, and there's a point at which you just kind of almost burn out with everything that goes with owning and running a business. Everything comes at a cost. Does the cost of owning a practice been worth it for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's allowed me the opportunity to do all the bits I do. When the singing dentist stuff happened, and obviously then a lot of opportunities started coming my way, being in clinic 5 days a week was not possible. So I had to take time away from fingers in mouths in order to be able to concentrate on these other things. And when you end up in a certain position, I believe things happen for a reason. Very, very strong believer in things happen for a reason. And that singing dentist thing happened. I think I know the reasons now, but it happened. And I thought, right, we got to just go with this 100% and see where this goes and where this takes me. And yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it if I was just an associate that had to like book time off. Or when you're the principal, you can kind of freestyle a bit.
So take us to the singing dentist. I mean, what was, how did that, you'd sit there going, I'll tell you what, I fancy singing. I mean, did you think about it?
No.
Or was it like, I'm going to, off we go?
It was a total accident. I'm sure everyone knows the story by now, but I'll tell it again. So basically, there was a patient that was booked in for endo, root canal, that is, for all the non-dentists listening. And then they FDA'd, which is not a amazing dental brokerage company.
So we have noticed the similarity in Taylor Associates and FTA.
Fell to its head. So basically, this patient didn't show up. So I had like 45 minutes, and then I kind of just sent my nurse out, and a song came on the radio, and this was in November 2015, and it was Hotline Bling by Drake. And I used to rap, and I've always done music, and music was a massive part of everything I do, and so I have the ability to just make up lyrics. Sometimes they're terrible, often they're amazing. This time, honestly, and this time,
humble thing, it's so clearly coming through, Milad.
I'll keep it real. But no, on this special occasion, it was pretty good. So I just started freestyling about endo to the song of Hotline Bling by Drake. And then I kind of did it, and I made up the lyrics on the spot, and I thought this was quite funny. So then I kind of brought it up on YouTube, and I sung it again and recorded myself on the phone doing it. And then I thought, this is funny. So I sent it to Nilesh, sent it to a few other guys, and sent it to another friend of mine called Payman, and he was like, bruv, this is genius, you got to put this online. And back then, Facebook was in its kind of infancy. It was really, Facebook was used, there was videos on there, but not much, and it was kind of used to like message your nan and, whoever. Instagram wasn't even a platform, and YouTube was the main like video hosting thing. So he put it up in Facebook in like a closed dental group. Dentists liked it, they started sharing it. Then it broke out of the group and public started to see it, because I used words like endo, and I even mentioned the people that we don't speak of.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm with you now.
I used a lot of dental terminology in there, and so people liked it because I was kind of rapping and my eyebrows were doing their thing. I don't know what happened with the eyebrows.
Well, that just
it's
happened.
Involuntary.
Synchronized eyebrows.
They are the backing dancers, and I cannot control what they do. So they were doing their thing, and I was kind of doing and people liked that. So I thought, all right, let me actually write one then. And then at that time, Happy was the biggest song at the time by Pharrell.
Yeah.
Despicable Me 2 just come out. it was just a massive record. So I thought, all right, everyone knows Happy. Let me change that. What can I do? Gappy. You might be gappy if you don't brush your teeth. You might be gappy if you don't floss your teeth. So I thought, boom, wrote it, and then, recorded it. And I was going to put it on YouTube. I was like, you know what? I need a page. So what am I going to call myself? So I thought, all right, let's have a think. I can rap. I've always rapped. Let's call myself the Rapping Dentist. I thought that's a sick name, Rapping Dentist. So I got out an app and I created the logo and I had a little face because everyone liked the eyebrows. So I did a face. Yeah. And I wrote Rapping Dentist on it. And I created the logo. And then my dad is like a massive part of what I do, right? So I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, what do you think of this? He took one look at it. He went, Raping Dentist, what is this shit? I was like, Dad, there's two P's, Dad, two P's. It's rapping. Look like
Brilliant.
Raping Dentist, what is it? I was like,
That is brilliant.
yeah, man, let's change that because that's a different brand altogether. And he was like, call yourself Singing Dentist. Like, because there was this thing called Singing Detective back in the day in his era. Yeah, I'm too young for that, but you guys like that. So,
and thank you very much for this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
So he said, call yourself Singing Dentist. But I was like, I can't actually sing. I'm a terrible singer. But I thought that would actually add to the comedic thing because I'm not a very good singer.
Yeah.
And so we went with Singing Dentist. So I changed it to singing. And I made a YouTube channel and I put Gappy up there. And it did like 300, 400,000 views in not like a week or 2 weeks. Wow. I was like, raw.
I find it incredible that there was no plan. You just did it. You came up with a name that clearly didn't play out well with your father.
Thankfully.
You changed your name and you went again.
Yeah.
But then you jumped on, you did Shape of You. And
that came later.
that's
oh my
had,
God.
like nearly 4 million views.
Yeah.
Was that the thing that really blew you up?
100%. So prior to Shape of You, I'd kind of done some stuff and then it started to get picked up by like the pages, the big viral pages, so Lad Bible and Unilad and all them kind of pages started posting my videos. And they'd get like 20 million views, 30 million views on my videos. But I could never monetize the videos because they're pastiches, actually.
Pastiche, that's right, yeah.
Parody is visual movie when you take on a movie. Pastiche is when you take on a song. But everyone just calls it parodies
based on
anyway.
that, everyone can claim CPD for tonight. Congratulations, everybody!
Have you put the objectives up? Because we need objectives and there will be feedback
There's
forms.
certificates later.
Okay? Yeah. So, they kind of posted it and I wouldn't really monetize it. And it wasn't about making money for that. It was just doing something fun and raising awareness for dentistry and just showing some positivity, right? And they'd kind of posted and started to go a bit mad. The thing that kept me doing it, though, was the comments that I'd get back. It was unbelievable. The response was properly overwhelming for a long period of time because it would be mums telling me that, you know, their like sick children were watching the videos and it was bringing smiles to them, and or like my, you know, disabled daughter that was so scared of the dentist, never wanted to go, has now from your videos wanted to go and booked on.
Who'd have thought those things would have come out?
That's amazing.
Exactly that. And it was because of this constant stream of these type of messages that I just kept doing it because I thought I can't, you know, what started out as a fun thing has turned into something that is genuinely helping people. Yeah. So I just kept doing it, and I would let it die. Because with something like that, you can't just do one every week. Yeah. Because people get bored of it. Not this guy again. Just sack that off. So I'd wait. And I'd wait for a big hit to come out. And then I'd jump on it and parody it and do it. And you just ride the wave of the hits that were already there. So when Ed Sheeran came back, because he'd taken a year exodus at that time. He came back and Shape of You was the first song. The minute, I remember very clearly, I was in the surgery and Radio 1 was on. And they said, this is the brand new song, Ed Sheeran. And the minute it went dun, 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 I thought that's a hit. I could hear it straight off the bat. I listened to the rest of it. I don't know what I was doing with the patient, but they had to wait. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. They had to wait because I was focused. I heard it and I thought, all right, this is the one. I have to parody this. But I could not find anything because Shape of You, all I could think of was shave your tooth. And I was like, that is not good. That's
not a dental term.
How do I make that pleasant? It doesn't sound pleasant. And I was struggling. And literally, I kept walking around the house going, shave your tooth. What can I do? And it was my wife that went, call it Save Your Tooth. She doesn't sound like that, but she's like, Save Your Tooth.
And do you not talk? Did she shout at you?
I think she was obviously somewhere else.
In another part of the house.
Yeah, I was obviously in the toilet, which is where I do my thinking. And so I thought, Save Your Tooth. That's good. So then I wrote it that evening. Genuinely, I heard it that day. I wrote all the lyrics that evening. The next day, I recorded it and then put it out.
Wow.
And it went mad.
And is that
mad.
still your process? Because you say you kind of wait for a banger to come out and ride on it, which makes good sense because you're going to get airtime. Is that still the way you do it? Do you have a plan? Do you say, I'm going to put out, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 pieces of work per year? Or is it when something comes to you, you do it?
Yeah.
Is that
When
still
it
the system?
comes, when it comes, I do it.
And then there's some that are like you try and they're just complete shite.
Yes. And they never get posted. My kids are the filter.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
What are you saying?
I'll
Listen to
record
this
it.
and see
Yeah,
what they-
100%.
Oh, wow, wow.
Because if you can keep the attention of like a 5, 6, 7 as they got older, but a child, then you've done all right. And I'd play it to them and they'd watch it. And if they would kind of get bored, I'm like, this one's dead.
Wow.
You can't put that out. Or I'd revisit it and record it again or put more stupid face or something in it.
Right.
So, yeah. But the process is one of two ways. Either there's a banger and then I find a way to make it dental, or there's a dental message and then I find the song to suit. So recently when there was all this stuff in the news about buying aligners direct and all that kind of stuff, right? And I got asked to talk about it and, talk about it on TV and things. I was like, all right, this is obviously topical. It's made the news. It's in the press. What can I do? So I was trying to find a song for that. And then aligners online, Remember the Time, Michael Jackson. Boom. Everyone knows that tune.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can do it. I had a few, but that one was the strongest.
Which is harder?
Which is the harder way around doing it?
Is it easier to get a banger of a tune and get words adapted rather than get a message that you then have to find a song to?
To be fair, I'm so lyrically sick. It's easy. Either or.
That's a great answer.
Either or, my friend. It's light work. No, but some songs write themselves, right? So Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison, that became Return of the Plaque. I mean, what else is it going to be, right? And that came to me, I was DJing one night and I played Return of the Mac and everyone went mad and I was like, rah. And literally while I was in the club, I just wrote Return of the Plaque. And that went on to do, I think, 15 million views on like Lad Bible or whatever. So some things just write themselves.
When it starts, does it flow quickly?
Yeah.
Once the idea comes, is it like...
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But that comes from the years of MCing and writing songs and, being involved in music. That's not something that is kind of easy to do. And people might think it's easy to do and they kind of try it. And sometimes it's not the greatest piece of work that they may produce.
I'm also interested in how you record it. It's still on a stand in your surgery, straight to screen, one take.
That's it.
So obviously a lot of people invest extraordinary amounts of time in producing content and they're obsessed about the quality in terms of the quality of the production value. But if you've got good content, does the production value not matter as much?
I think now it does still matter because we are flooded with content, right? And if something isn't visually appealing or it doesn't sound very good,
You just don't get.
you don't want to watch it because we have to now fight for people's attention on social media because there's so much great content being put out there, right? And you've got, I don't even believe in 3 seconds. You've literally got half a second, 1 second tops to get someone to watch it. And so it has to visually be nice. The colors have got to look good. The settings got to be nice. The audio's got to be perfect. So it's not as raw as it was, but it's still definitely one take on my phone. Thankfully, the phones have got amazing cameras nowadays, right? Yeah. So on the phone, in my surgery, with a tripod and just me. And everyone has to be gone because I find it... So this is the thing. People ask me to perform them live. I actually get quite shy.
Right.
I know. No, but performing those songs, I don't like doing.
Yeah.
I like doing them in my surgery and I want millions of people and millions of people end up seeing it.
Just as well we didn't ask him to do one now.
Mate, I would have said no.
Exactly.
It wouldn't happen. And people ask me all the time. And I find it awkward. MCing, thousands of people, I'll do it right now. But doing my dental songs, I just think that's the singing dentist guy, and then he does it in the surgery.
Yeah,
and
it's almost like a different persona.
Yeah.
In a way.
Do you always separate those personas out?
Yeah. Even though my personality is what it is. So singing dentist isn't a different person. Like I sound mad talking about it in a third person as well. I hate people do that. But it is, I guess, a character, but it's still just me. Like everyone that knows me, and I've been the same forever. Like nothing has really changed at all.
What's it like being recognised? Because I mean, we've met you a few times, and I'm just thinking the one we were at the showcase on Friday. We had a conversation with you about today, didn't we? And we could not have walked more than about, I don't know, 3 feet without someone like, that woman who was in Costa who went completely nuts. What's the matter with her? Oh, I've never Officer, you're so close. Oh, can I touch you? It's like, oh, man. Do you want a picture? Oh, I couldn't have a picture with him. Can I have a picture with him? Is that okay? It was bonkers.
Yeah.
And then we only got about another 10 foot and someone else. We walked in the hall, someone else. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, at dental events, obviously it happens a lot, but it's surprising when it happens a lot outside, completely unrelated places.
Your coverage is for sort of out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, Tesco, it will happen. Petrol stations, it will happen. I've had people in traffic. I'm just sitting in traffic and I look over and they're like, like toothbrushing
Are you
at
sure
me.
that's what they're saying?
I hope that's what they're saying, bruv. Because if it was the other thing, I would have pulled over. I mean,
I'm just checking.
You got to get it when you can, my friend.
No,
Yeah. So it's mad. Or they look at me and they kind of try and do the eyebrows and look like they're like mid-stroke or something. You know. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy where it happens. And I remember the most random one. So we were on a family holiday in Portugal, and we found like some remote kind of restaurant. And we went into this place and we were the only ones in this place. And this old waiter like kind of comes up and he doesn't speak a word of English. And we're like pointing at the menu. And it was like a fish place, right? It was right on the coast. And he kept looking at me funny. And I was thinking, does this guy not
Does he not like me?
I was like, has he not seen ethnic people or something? Like, I mean, so I was a bit like, rah, this is a bit awkward. And he kept going and coming back and looking at me, giving me funny eyes. And he came back, funny eyes. And then towards the end, when I got the bill, he came up and he goes, I know you. And I was like, really? Ed Sheeran, Brasitila. And I was like,
wow,
yeah, I'm the guy. And he asked for a photo and we took a photo and I could not believe it. He was like 75 years old.
Flip, that just shows it's
Insane.
amazing, isn't it?
Insane, but that's the reach of social media. It's mad.
Apparently in Brazil, there's a huge following in Brazil
Yeah,
of your work.
mad. And actually all of South America, and that was because of the Despacito one.
Right.
So when Despacito came out, so that came out that summer. So March, the Ed Sheeran tune dropped, and then it went mental, and then I kind of let it die. And then that summer, Despacito came out, which had
was
like the
everywhere,
most ever views ever on YouTube. I think it's gone now. But it was the biggest record. So I thought, I've got to parody this. And I was like, what the hell? I can't even speak Spanish. But I had a Spanish friend who helped me write the lyrics. I kept telling him, listen, how do I say this? And he'd write it. And we kind of bounced back. And the whole concept of take a cito, I heard you broke your tooth eating a Dorito. Genius, bruv. So I recorded that, put that out, and all of a sudden, like my following in the whole of South America and Spain and all of that went through and people were sending me long messages in Spanish. Like I could speak Spanish, so Google Translate got battered that month. Let me tell you, it was good. But yeah, it's just different, and that's the other thing as well. I'll do. So if there's a specific message, I'll do it for that demographic, right? And I'll choose a song that they like. So recently, I've been doing drill songs, which I don't appreciate that genre of music. But I've been having to do drill songs because drill, yeah, not that. The drill is a genre of music. It's kind of like UK rap, very
It's a young bloke thing.
grimy type, undergroundy type thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
But to speak to the kids, I'm parodying drill songs.
Oh wow.
But then if I've got a topic, like when I did implants, I was going to talk about implants. Obviously, you tend to be a bit older when you need an implant, so I kind of chose a song that the older demographic. I chose "Missing You" by Puff Daddy, but obviously Sting had the original one, right? So they would know that record, and I called it "Missing Tooth."
And is there a link back into business for you in terms of being a dentist and the dental practice? Does it act as a draw and a marketing tool?
Listen, patience. It was never that though.
No.
And people on the comments have always said, "Oh, this is genius marketing," and "Oh my god, what a clever idea." And that I wouldn't say it annoys me, but I always reply to that and go, "Mate, it actually wasn't ever a marketing thing. It was an accident, and we rolled with it." But now it has become a massive tool. Yeah, when you have so many people watching and so many eyeballs. I put a post out on Monday for like veneers. We have same day smiles with Avant Garde.
Yeah.
I just put one post out. I cannot tell you how many messages I've got off the back of that one post and how many patients are now coming from all over just for that treatment to Basingstoke. They even asked, where's Basingstoke? I'm like, brother, I don't even know. And I worked here like 19 years.
It's a village. It's
a little village.
In Hampshire,
so I just sent in the postcode and like, it's 3 hours away. I'm like, listen, do you want me to find someone closer? No, I trust you. I was like, you don't even know me.
Wow.
But okay, I'm glad you appreciated the music. So come on over, bruv.
Do you get the Z-listers trying to sort of like say, well, I'll come to you because I was in one episode serving a drink in Towie.
No.
So therefore, any chance you can do my teeth because I promise I'll promote you.
Always, yeah.
So you must have to then sort of almost like refine those people. So
Not really, man. I show love to everyone. And it makes no difference who you are, what you do. I've had some A-listers that I've treated that I'm not allowed to post and do stuff.
Yeah.
I've had other like reality people. You know, we've all treated kind of famous people, right? Some of them are super hard work though. I'm not going to lie. They're not my favorite group of people to treat.
Right.
But actually, let me rephrase. It's not, I don't want to categorize because that's unfair. Some of them can be hard work because they want a lot and then they don't kind of want to pay at all. Whereas the ones that are down will always pay.
Right. Because those are the ones
they
I was
appreciate
thinking,
the
the
skill.
ones who want it for free.
Yeah. But look, it has to work. So sometimes of course it pays because then you can think of that as your marketing budget, right? You absorb the cost
I suppose so.
because it will make a difference. But that whole influencer thing and using influencers to promote dentistry or promote anything is completely different now. It's not the same as what it was 5 years ago at all. So you have to be very selective who you choose.
It's opened other doors for you as well, isn't it? You know, you're into football. So you now do celebrity football matches.
I know.
Which
Mad.
I guess as somebody that just owned a dental practice, those doors probably wouldn't have opened without the senior dentist side of things.
And can
No
you actually
way.
play football?
I'm actually not bad.
Oh, that's good.
I can play. I play in defense, which actually sounded like a great idea when I said, yeah, I play in defense. And I will play in defense. But I play left back. I'm left footed. And left back, the opposing person is the right wing, which when they're like a 21-year-old Love Islander who plays semi-professional football, it's hard work for 90 minutes, let me tell you, because those young lads can run. And me, I'm not as nimble as I used to be, my friend, but I'm in the gym every day now. And yeah, I just tackle them. Because that's the thing is when in the old days, when I played proper football, first 30 seconds, you mash them. Let them know
you're there.
all day, this is what you're getting. Don't run past me again. But in a celebrity game, it's a bit uncouth to like chop down, you know what I mean? The like reality kid off of Towie or whatever. So I have to, it's hard work because they're really good players though. And also we get to play with, you all right there, bruv?
He's still with us.
He's
still with
laughing.
us.
He was laughing so much he nearly died. Let me tell you. Yeah. So yeah, there's like ex-pros that come and play. So it's a proper honor to be able to play that. And we play in like Premiership football grounds and stuff. And just even to go to the dressing room.
Which is your favourite ground?
Villa Park.
Really?
Villa Park is a stunning ground and the grass is immaculate. The dressing, it was just really nice, man. They treated us really, really well there. So yeah, and I get to play.
Do you play in the Emirates?
Sadly not. That is one for the bucket
arrange.
list. Thanks. Oh, I'd love to. But yeah, it is genuinely an amazing experience. And the good thing about it is there are celebrity matches, but they're all for charity, and it's always a local charity. And it's not like a massive charity. It will be a family whose child is going through something, and they'll come to the match, and we get to meet the child and meet the family, and you see exactly where that money goes, and you follow up with them, and you get to know these people. So it's a privilege to be able to do that, and yeah, I really enjoy it. And the beauty is they have roll-on subs. So I can come on 5 minutes, shoot my load and come off. And then come on again and shoot again, my friend. So yeah, it's great.
Have a rest.
Have a rest, catch my breath.
Energy drink.
And have you reversed any of that back into business? There's a guy called James Kerr that wrote a book, Legacy, about the All Blacks. And he looked at the All Blacks and kind of come up with these things that the All Blacks did that made them so incredible. And said, what can we learn about business? Have you taken any things that you learned from football that have helped you in business or the other way around?
Well, football is a team sport, right? And teamwork 100% makes the dream work. But no, it genuinely does. Like we can't do what we do without a team. And that actually is probably the biggest struggle I've had because I am quite controlling is the wrong word, but I like to be in control of everything.
Controlling them.
Yeah. Yeah. But and delegating, I think, is a skill that you kind of have to learn. And it comes with trust in your team. So when you delegate to somebody, you can trust that it's going to get taken care of. And I find that hard. I find delegating hard because I like to know that I've done everything.
Yeah.
But then you stretch yourself thin, man, and you don't have time to do everything.
No.
And then things don't get done then.
Delegation is a real skill. There's no doubt about it,
So I would say teamwork, 100%, which is, I know it's a bit cliche, but it's the truth because you need that. You need that in dentistry, 100%.
You've got a lot going on. You're spinning a lot of plates, juggling a lot of balls. Anything else?
Is there a record?
A what, sorry?
A record?
A record. We did actually do a record. I Like Your Molars Molars. That got turned into a proper song with a record label. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they heard it somewhere and then they approached me and said they want to do it. So, but that was during COVID. So the whole promotional thing was difficult to do in COVID, right? So I had to like shoot a video of myself in my room, and it was a weird experience. But we put that out and raised, I think, about $3,000 for charity.
Nice.
So that was good.
That's
We decided to give it all away. So that was good fun. there is something
Go on then.
I'm doing. No one knows.
What's that?
I haven't actually told anyone yet.
Feels like a world exclusive.
Do you guys want to?
Dun. And thank you very much, man.
I think I need Nilesh those. So I've written a book.
What about?
It's called Instagram for Dentists, and it's it's available on Amazon. My pseudonym Shaz Memon. If you wanna,
Is it the third edition?
it's the fourth actually.
Is it about this thick? Now?
Yeah, it's a great
really,
book.
really thick. Yeah.
It's a great book. How thick is it? Oh gosh, no. So yeah, I've written a book. It's called The Whole Tooth. And yeah, so I was randomly approached. I did like a Radio 2 thing, and then it went really well, just like a chat. I got invited on, and then we're talking about stuff. And then a publisher like just hit me up straight off the back of that and said, "Listen, we just heard you on the radio. We think you're, funny, incredible, all that kind of just usual stuff." No, so they were like, "Have you ever thought about writing a book?" I was like, "Absolutely not." Like I can't even begin to think about writing a book. I wouldn't even know where to start. And they were like, "Well, look, come in for a meeting." So I went and sat with them, and they said, "Look, we think you've got so much to offer and so much to say. There isn't really any good dentistry books out there that explain about dentistry, what it's like to actually be a dentist. Your story is very unique and interesting. So why don't you just write a book? Here's a deal." And the advance was good.
Yeah, excellent.
So I was like, "Oh, I'll take that."
So you had to do it.
So I had to then write a bloody book. And they wanted like 40,000 words.
Whoa.
That's a lot of words.
That is a lot of words.
Yeah. And I said, "How many pictures?" And they were like, "None." So yeah, so 40,000 words.
And proper words as well.
Yeah, proper English words. So at the time, so I've got another couple of friends, Woody and Kleiny, they're like massive online social media guys. And they were writing a book, and they were using like a ghostwriter. And they said, "Look, it's dead easy, mate. You can talk. This guy comes round, he puts the dictaphone on, and you just chat for like 2-3 hours. And then magically, a few weeks later, chapters turn up." And I was like, "That's the guy.
Yeah.
Bring him to the house."
Talk and it's written.
Yeah. So he would come over, and we'd just shoot pool, we'd chat, we'd go for a drive, and he'd just record everything and ask me stuff. So we had the chapters, we knew what it was going to be. And then he said, "Yeah, so tell me about your upbringing." So I told him that story with the syringe and, talked about the singing dentist and then the history of dentistry. He was like, "Look, we need a chapter about it." So I had to sit down and research. Yeah. So I think chapter 2 is the history of dentistry, like how it came about.
Right, okay.
So that is a super interesting chapter if you don't know about how dentistry came about. You need to obviously buy the book now, because I'm going to tell you nothing, but it is actually on pre-order right now if you want to look it up. The Whole Tooth. But yeah. And then there's a bit about, so I called it Dentistry Backstage, because I don't think people appreciate enough what goes on in the dental practice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just want people to read it.
There's stories of...
And then there's stories. There's stories.
Brilliant.
So for a little while, I was kind of incognito going to like dental shows and going, "Listen, have you got any funny stories about dentistry?" Yeah. And I was like, shush, get my phone out. Tell me about it. And they'll like tell me their funny stories about what happened with a patient or this or that. And so I've anonymously used them as like kind of anecdotes in the thing. And there's a bit about me. There's Mythbusters, because again, loads of people don't know anything about dentistry, right? They think they do, they don't know anything. So we've done some Mythbusters in there. It's actually, so here's the funny bit. I wrote this book, well, Seb did, but I kind of proofed it and read it and tweaked it.
You spoke it.
I spoke it and he transcribed it.
Yep.
And then I had to kind of make it my own. So he'd leave spaces. He'd be like, "Insert your joke." So I'd have to like put my own voice into the story. Yeah.
Excellent.
But I'd never read the whole thing. I've read chapters, and obviously I know what the book is, but I've never read it. Then the publishers go, "Listen, we want to do an audio book, and we want you to read it." And I was like, "I'm there. Tell me when." So they hired a studio for me to go.
Oh, cool.
And I read my whole book from start to finish. It took, genuinely, so we had a 3-hour session and then a 5 hours, 8 hours to read the whole thing, yeah.
Flip.
And genuinely, it's really good.
I said, were you like surprised?
No. Honestly, I've surprised myself.
I'm surprised how humble you are. Honestly,
No. But listen, I'm very modest. But this book... No, genuinely, it's come out really good. I was surprised myself. I was actually reading it sometimes going, "Did I write this?"
I suppose it's that thing, as you say, if you've only ever done chapters,
you don't know how it
read
flows.
the whole continuity piece.
That's
and
it.
now you've read it. It's like,
oh,
actually, this
is decent.
Yeah, this works.
And I want to say thank you to Nilesh, because he did the foreword for me of the book. So he's
done,
known about
Nilesh.
it for a while. And Nilesh has had a sneaky copy to see, because I had to get some opinions and stuff. And
Excellent.
he said it's pretty good. So I'm chuffed with that.
I think what's cool as well is I think whenever you listen to an audio book that's narrated by the author, I just think it feels so much more authentic than when they get somebody
It's
else to
more
do it.
interesting, isn't it? Because you actually put into
your
it because you
story.
know what
Yeah,
you
it's your
said.
story.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was so much fun doing the audiobook, but you're literally in like a room. So I've got some content I'll put out, but you're in just like a tiny room and there's a bloke there. And every so often he'll stop you. And go, let's do that again. Because maybe there was a blip or you fumbled a word. And you know what? You can't. So I couldn't sing any of the songs because of the copyright. You also can't really do accents.
Right.
Because it might be offensive to the person whose accent you're doing.
Yeah.
And I got to do accents, bruv, every so often. Like if I'm telling a story, you've got to put on the accent, innit? You got to do the thing. But I wasn't allowed to do accents, so it was a great experience.
Accents.
So,
I could do Iranian. I was allowed. It's my dad, so he won't complain.
So when's it out? When can people
I think
get
like
a copy?
April. We're not far.
soon.
Yeah,
The
man, like
first.
April 28th or 4th or something like that.
Oh wow.
You've done
yeah.
well keeping it quiet.
I know. I haven't, but we now are going to start doing the promo thing, and the PR team are kind of all over it. And I'm going to be doing like a Waterstones thing, like it's mad.
Excellent.
Yeah, to actually get it. And it's hardback initially, and then they
We're
might
doing
do
a signing session. How cool is
Yeah,
that?
but mate, I don't
your
think
coffee.
people are going to turn up, bruv. I'm like, listen, can we not do the Waterstones? Because if I
let's
turn up
no,
and
let's
one dude,
not. We'll all turn
yeah,
up.
listen,
People in
if
the
you
room.
not turn
We'll
up,
turn
I'll
up.
tell you
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it is,
fine,
yeah,
fine, yeah.
and then you guys can make me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. There's one other thing. I'm doing a comedy pilot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm acting and stuff. So that's
What's
getting
that then?
filmed. I can't tell you that,
Oh okay.
but I've learnt my lines.
Excellent.
I'm actually quite like a main character in this
Are
thing.
you
So
playing a
if it gets
dentist?
picked up, nah,
But this is like
something in the medical world though.
Okay.
It's so good though. I can't tell you. I've read the whole script for all of the episodes, but the pilot, it's so good.
That's not bloody irritating.
If this gets
at all,
picked
is it,
up,
mate?
if this gets picked up, it is going to be so good. It's like an 8-part comedy series
Right. Are you in all eight
with
parts?
a twist. Yeah, I'm like
are you main
probably like the
character?
3rd or 4th kind of main character guy. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
wow.
insane, but it's so good. I wish I could tell you guys about it, but honestly, and my character,
When
my character's
will
like.
it come out or might it
So
come out?
we're shooting the pilot mid-April.
Right.
Yeah, it looks really good. I had to do like self tapes that actors do. I had to like so they sent me a script. So basically, you just record yourself into it as if you're
So
delivering
you can
it.
see what you're looking
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, it's mad. So that if that gets picked up,
And
it's
how
going to
did
be really
that
good.
come about then? Did someone approach you?
So I had a little cameo in a movie.
Or have you been like hawking yourself?
No.
around?
I had a cameo in a movie called On the Other Foot, and it was about a racist white gentleman that wakes up black, and it was a comedy, and they kind of did that during the whole kind of movement and with the George Floyd things and Black Lives Matter and stuff. So it was done by a friend of mine, Freddie Nwako, who's a independent filmmaker and director, and he came up with the story, put it together, and then he wanted to do a scene with me in it. And he was like, look, what can we do? And I said, well, look, obviously I'll play a dentist. And why don't we get the racist white guy to come to the clinic? And his dentist is normally Mr. Smith, but Mr. Smith ain't there that day. So he can come and see Dr. Ali.
Wow.
And then we can have like a... And actually that was based on a true story. So when I first started in Basingstoke, I remember within that first week, I was in the surgery and someone came in and took a look at me and went, hello. I was like, hi. Coming out, my name's Dr. Milad. Nice to meet you. Come and see. Oh, you speak English well. And I was like, yeah, so do you. Do you want to come and have a seat? Like, I mean, come on, bruv. It's NHS, Ruboy. You got 5 minutes. Get in the chair. So, yeah. And I thought we could take that story and turn it into a thing. So that actually made that made the scene. So I had a little cameo.
Right.
And then the actor I was with at the time then wanted his teeth done. So we did that, and it's his show.
Wow.
It's all about the connections.
And what was it like acting? Because
So-
you were saying you were a little bit nervous about being in front of people. So what was it like?
It is
acting?
it's a different kind of thing. So I've done sketch work before on comedy things, and I think so. I've never had acting lessons. I would like to probably do it to learn the craft because it is something you got to learn. Some people have some natural ability, and I think I've got some natural ability with comedy timing and stuff, and which is a hard thing to get apparently if you don't have it. So, but what a few actors I know have told me is you've got to basically learn the lines enough so that it becomes you and you become the person.
Right.
As long as you become the person, you just talk.
Yeah.
You're just
Right.
talking.
Yeah. Okay.
So but it's not acting, then it just becomes talking. So you have a conversation, you know your lines. And the beauty of this, because it's comedy, you can ad-lib a lot. So I know the character. It was almost like it was written for me though, to be fair. Brilliant. And yeah, I've learned the lines, I've delivered the stuff, I've done the first sort of little scene thing. Look, yeah, hopefully that comes across.
You got a lot
that's
going on.
exciting.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
going back to
cool,
what you were
man.
saying before, without owning a dental practice, lots of these things could never have happened because you'd need to be working to earn, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
have the freedom to do that.
For the past sort of year and a bit, I was working 1 day a week. And that allowed me the
Gives you the
time,
time, yeah.
to focus on so many other things because I'm spinning so many plates. And obviously within dentistry as well, we've got avant-garde. That takes up a lot of time and planning. I've got other business projects and the brand work. I still get quite a lot of brand work. I'm working with quite a few big brands, and there's another couple of things coming soon, which are super exciting as well. And that it takes time. Making content is a full-time job.
Wow.
You're not short of stuff to do. What makes you happiest of all the things that you do? What's the one thing that you really get drawn to?
Music.
Is it?
Yeah. Aside from obviously spending time with the kids and family and the important stuff, if it's just music, when I'm in the studio, I've got a studio at home. When I'm in the studio, I put my headphones on. That's my most
Lost.
Yeah, comfortable, happy time. I can spend hours without even knowing that it's been hours. I'm starting to think I have ADHD. Genuinely, and that's not a joke, because I've got friends that now, as adults, are getting diagnosed with it, and I'm seeing so many of their characteristics I share. So, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that's like a superpower to be able to focus on something, and also the other traits that come with it. But music, man, 100%. I'll start at like 10 p.m. We put the kids to bed, say goodnight to my wife, she'll go to bed, and then before I know it's like 5 in the morning.
Wow.
And I've made a tune. And I hear it the next day, and it's terrible.
It seemed good at the time.
I've literally spent like 7 hours
It's funny,
wasting
isn't
my
it?
life.
If you've got something that's a passion that you really love, I mean, everyone will have something they love. You just can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like
Doesn't-
effort at
no.
all, does it?
No. So that,
I always think everyone's got a song in them. I read this thing that Cher's song "I Believe," whatever it was, "I Believe," or whatever it was.
do you believe
It was
in
written by an
life?
ex-bank
I
manager.
think your version was slightly better than your version.
But I mean, how about that? The world famous song written by an ex-bank manager.
Yeah.
Can you
Ex-bank
believe
manager.
that? Yeah, there you go. So
He obviously
had
had
everybody.
He had an affinity for that and smashed it.
Milad, we can't keep talking as much fun as it would be because people want food and drink and stuff, but we always finish in the same way. We always ask our
Yeah,
guests the
that's
same
definitely,
two
yeah.
questions. So the first question is, if you could be the fly on a wall in a situation, where would you like to be? What wall would you be hovering on, and what would you be looking down on? What situation?
Bloody hell. This is PG, right?
Well,
It's up
you
to
can
you.
do whatever
Let's
you
keep
like.
it PG, so I won't say that one that I was about to. Do you know what? I would genuinely like to be a fly on the wall in the government when they chat about NHS dentistry. Because I don't understand what they're doing. I don't
think
understand
they do either.
Yeah, what they're talking about, what the conversation is, how are they getting it so wrong that everybody
Who's advising?
Yeah, who is giving them advice?
Yeah.
Who is coming up with the situations? I don't understand. So I'd love to be a fly on the wall listening to it, because I reckon it's a mockery. I don't even think they're talking about it. They just get together and have some jokes and pop some champagne.
Biscuits.
And I don't know what they're doing. So I'd genuinely like to know. Chocolate covered biscuits as well, with everything, sprinkles and all of that. Krispy Kremes,
posh biscuits.
jammy
Posh
donuts all over the place. Because I genuinely don't know. So I'd love to be in there and just listen to them and go, what are you lot chatting about? How are you going to fix this? Where's the plan?
I'm not sure there is one.
No. So that would be interesting.
Cool. And as a follow-up, if you could meet somebody, if you were given the opportunity to meet one person, sit
Alive or
down-
dead?
Living or dead, doesn't matter.
Oh,
Fact or fiction?
Yeah, if you have to, we don't care. We just want to know who it might be.
there's two people. If it was,
We said one.
I can do dead and I can do alive.
All
right,
go
we'll
on, go
let
on,
you-
go on.
yeah, okay.
Because
You
seeing
can
as
have
how
two.
this is
You can have two.
Dentology live and never been done before.
Yeah,
You can have two. You can
There's
have
no
two.
point having dentology dead, is it? Really?
But actually, to be fair, the alive one, I don't anymore. So I'll do the alive one first. Will Smith.
Ah.
So Will Smith had a massive impact on me growing up because of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I was never a shy kid, but my mannerisms, Eddie Murphy and Will Smith, I used to copy both of them in the way they delivered stuff, in their style, in their kind of comedy, in their timing. I would copy. If I ever did Celebrity Mastermind, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would be my chosen specialized subject.
Right.
I'm not even
That'd be an
joking.
episode, wouldn't it?
Listen, I've seen every episode multiple times. I know a lot about that show, and I used to use his lines when I was chatting to girls when I was young. I'm not even joking. That's the truth. So him, I really, really, really wanted to meet him, and I followed his career and I loved his movies. And then, like in the last 3 or 4 years, things change, man.
The slap.
Yeah, just
Oh,
move
bruv.
over a bit, just in
slap.
case you know.
Bruv, the slap hurt because it just tanked everything, didn't it?
blew it,
Really.
yeah.
And actually, even before the slap, there's just a lot going on with him and his situation. I just like, rah, that's just not good, man. But it would have been Will Smith. I would have loved to meet. I probably would still like to meet him. The Rock and Kevin Hart. I'm going to slide that in.
Wow.
There's about 8 people now I want to
We
meet.
jumped
Yeah,
off
same.
of one pretty quickly, didn't we?
And I didn't know they died.
No, they
we're not
haven't.
doing it.
No,
Oh,
no,
just
but
checking
to be
this.
okay, the dead person's Michael Jackson.
Ah,
And I don't give a damn about
yeah.
any of that nonsense story that you lot were telling me or people were saying about Michael Jackson, all right? He never touched nobody. Apparently. But Michael
Allegedly.
Jackson, no, but genuinely Michael Jackson. Again, growing up, so in Iran, we didn't have a lot of Western influence stuff. There was a video man, we used to call them, right? They'd come around to your house with a suitcase full of videos from the West. And it'll be movies, it'll be music videos, it'll be stuff. And Thriller was the video I would have every week.
Right.
And I'd watch it and I'd learn the dance steps. So actually the filler video that I did,
Which is cool.
that was something I always wanted to do. Yeah, that was really good, man. But Michael Jackson, his music, his everything, he was like the icon for everybody that was, born in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So I would have loved to have met him and just had a chat.
Did you get to see him live?
So I had tickets
So
for
he died. Can you
what was
believe
it
it?
called?
Oh, the O2 thing.
The O2 thing.
The 50,
yeah,
the
50,
59
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So I had box tickets for that.
Yeah.
And sadly didn't make it.
Hmm.
But yeah, him or I'm going to say The Rock now because I think what he's done is unbelievable. You worry about spinning plates. The Rock has 35 plates. He's just doing everything.
And to transition from what he was to what he's become is
to what he's become is
pretty cool,
incredible. And we share the same eyebrow.
and no, not physique. No.
Mate, I'm getting up every day and going to the gym, right? give me a sum up.
You'll be there.
I'll be there.
Well, thank you.
It's been brilliant.
Absolute joy.
No, thank you guys.
Absolute
Just
joy.
before we wrap up though, can I do
Really
something?
enjoyable.
I want to get a video with all you guys in it because it would be a crime not to, and then slap this up on the socials, right? So let me see if I get over this way, I can get everybody in there. All right, let's record it now. The lighting, oh my God, I am blessed with the lighting. Let's record this right now. Hello, Bookface and Instagram Famalamdam. So what I'm doing this evening is I'm recording a podcast live in front of an audience. Say hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, Dentology live in the house with esteemed colleagues, dentists, and other people in our industry. The mic is ruining my flow. Let me come over here. And it's been an amazing time. We just wrapped up, but I want to say massive thank you to everybody here. Make some Oli, Oli, Oli. It's so good when they do that. So yeah, this is what I've been doing tonight. Big up, and the lighting is blessing me right now. This is my life. This is.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really good.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dentology, where we discuss the business of dentistry. If you like what you heard, please do subscribe where you found this episode. That would be amazing. And also follow us on Instagram.